Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Vibrations of Truth. We usually talk about what's happening in the cosmos, and on the 21st, just a couple days away from now, we will be entering into a partial solar eclipse. And what does this mean for people? We just went through the total lunar eclipse, which was all about hidden truth surfacing. So things from our subconscious mind bubbling to the surface so that we can clear them and we can take care of them. And on the 21st, with the partial solar eclipse that's coming in, this is all about renewal, setting new intentions, and reorganizing. So, taking steps towards structure or health or clarity or boundaries in your life. So, it's a great time for new intentions, for renewal. And so, really pay attention over the next couple days what's coming up, journal about those, and start to reorganize and move forward in your life, taking steps towards all the good that you deserve. My name is Jen Smith. Along with me this morning is Michelle Bowen, and welcome to our show. We are going to be talking about expressing yourself fully today. We're going to go over some of the experiences we had over the week. Uh, Michelle is working through transforming her life to all the good. So she's going through thinking into results. So we'll see where she's at in that process. So good morning, Michelle. How are you?
Good morning, Jennifer. Happy Friday. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me again. Appreciate it.
Yes, happy Friday. I love these meetups. It's always fun. See what is expressing through us. Um So this week we talked about leadership. We were on lesson 10 and how do you lead yourself and how do you lead other people. We also had some great things happening over the week with the Midwest Holistic event that happened. So thank you for participating and helping me set all that up. And so where do you want to jump in? There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, I guess we can talk about that. Let's talk about the wellness fair because that was a great experience. So this was my very first time doing those things, being at the wellness fair one, and then just assisting you with the preparing for the project. So it was a wonderful learning experience, one where I could practice, my tools and strategies that you are equipping me with, and
Mhm.
I have to tell you, like the experience overall was really amazing for me. You want me to just talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Yeah,
There are so many
yeah,
things that happened that day. It was like, "Wow, this is amazing." But
yeah,
that's how every day can be all day if we allow
yeah,
it to be. So, yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So even just the lead up to that, right? Just the prep work, and a time frame that we were working within, and my main goal really was to just be helpful to you and just really work and flow and joy and pick things up when I was having those feelings and kind of just moving with it, just because everything that we were putting out and bringing to people in the community was just, I knew, was going to be impactful and uplifting in some way. And so to me it was incredibly important to do everything with that understanding, right, that it was super special. And so just
Mhm.
prepping for
Mhm.
that was kind of an amazing experience, and one where I normally operate with a whole lot more structure and rigidity. And I just felt like that was just not it at all. And the whole time that we were preparing for that, for me, it was like, oh, I get to do this. I get to do this for people that are going to come and see this. I get to do this to help Jennifer. It was just filling me up in a completely different way, because my attitude was different. So I was just changing my
Mhm.
attitude and how I approach things and being good with that. Um, and then the day of, oh my
So let's
goodness.
talk about that first before we move into
Yeah.
the day of, because you
Okay.
touched on some important points there. And you talked about how your intentions, one, your attitude and how your intentions was working towards it. The end goal we know is gonna be bringing this beautiful energy to the community, being of service in that way, but also your intentions behind it and the energy you're moving through it with. That brings everything to the project too. So
Yeah.
it fulfills you, it really brings good energy to the service that we are providing to people. And so that anytime people are doing something, it could be anything. It could be preparing food. It's the energy that you put behind it that's going to be of service to other people. Literally going into preparing food in an energetic, loving way will
Right.
also make the food that people eat healthier. This can be measured energetically. It's I mean, people can look it up. It's out there. It can be measured. It's sort of like when people say a prayer over a meal. We're just doing
Right.
everything with good intentions, good energetics. So I think that's important, and I love that you said that, and how you were thinking about what it was that we were bringing to people, because it's so important to be in that energy and that thinking and that attitude. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
so thank you. So thank you for sharing that. And so let's move on to the day of.
Yeah. Okay. I'm giggling because I know what I'm going to say. And like to me, I just started the day very in just such a good spot and high energy, doing all the things that I do on a daily basis to sort of prepare myself for the day. This was seemed a little bit different. It
Starting
just
in a high
seemed extra.
vibration, right? That's what you're talking
Starting in a
about.
high
Yep.
vibration, it just seemed extra that
Mhm.
day. And I think it's because I knew where I was going and what I was going to be doing. And um, the interesting thing is like there were certain things that had to take place before I left the house. Okay, and I had my mom show up. She's always on time, always 15 minutes early. And she showed up like the minute I had to walk out the door, which was like, oh my goodness, like I'm going to be driving like crazy to get to Jennifer's house on time. Well, the cool thing was like I just centered myself. I just talked myself through that, tried to maintain the high vibration, and literally time bent for me. It was like
Yay!
good. I have never, well, I've experienced some time bending, don't get me wrong, but I've never experienced seeing what I saw where my clock just stood still. My clock stood still. And I drove to your house and it changed to 8 o'clock on the dot, which is when I was supposed to
Sure
be there
did.
when I pulled up to your house.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my, oh my goodness, Jennifer, it literally stopped time so I could be here right now. Like time just completely stopped for me. It was so bizarre in the best way. And I was like, wow, okay,
Bizarre in the
this is
best
how the
way.
day's gonna this is how the day is gonna be.
Mhm.
And and it was.
Yes, yes.
It was from start to finish.
And I love
So
it. I love it because, we control time. Well, I shouldn't say that. We make time. We create time, right? So, there's lots of time management classes where people try to control time, and it's not that we should try to control time. We stay in the flow and the ease of things, and we pay attention to what's coming to us, and we create time. Each of us creates time for our life. Um, and that's really hard for people to wrap their minds around. I know, I was talking to one client and she's like, "It's the time. I'm always up against time, time." I said, "Well, you create your time." Like, I think I've talked about this before. There's one clock in my house, and it's in the dining room that I can't even see, and that's for guests whenever they come over, because you just stay in the flow of the day and everything just unfolds perfectly, right? We do need to pay attention
right,
to time when we're meeting with people and we're gonna meet at a certain time. That should be respected. But other than that, you go through your day in the flow and everything just flows perfectly. You gotta trust that, right? So, I love
right.
time bending. Um, it is, uh it is, miraculous in those
Yeah.
moment to moment times just during your day here, but there's a lot more time bending that can happen too.
Yes. We kind of experienced that on the way there as
Yeah.
well because we left and we wanted to be there by a certain time, allowing ourselves. plenty of ease in getting everything set up. This was the first time doing this particular setup with everything. And we got there in less time than we ever even imagined. Like less time than the GPS said it was going to take to get there, right? On a normal day. So I was like, what? This happened twice. So it happened on my way to your house, it happened on the way to the event, and then us getting everything in and moving and all, placed the way that we want it to be. We were right on with all the things. It just was lovely. It was a lovely way to start the day. And I don't know, just it's so special. It's just so special. I just feel giddy even saying it out loud right now. So
Mhm. And then it's just a normal part of your life.
yeah, but it is now.
Good, good.
That hasn't always been a part of that I was aware of
Mhm.
or anything of that nature, right? Not at all. So it just, it was magical in that way to me. And yeah, we just had from then on out, like we had an amazing that came. Thank you for coming, and we had a real folks flowing throughout the whole day.
And, that's sort of what you were visioning, right?
Yes.
Whenever we started to prepare for the event, which was, um, just so everybody knows what we're talking about, it's called the Midwest Holistic Event. Um, I think this was the 4th year that we had it here in the Midwest. We have, Joyce Stewart, she came from California where natural healing and all of these modalities, like this energy healing that I do is very commonplace, but in the Midwest, it is not. So, that's why she started this. There were over 50 exhibitors there, that had booths, whether they were doing natural products or services. So it's really growing and it's great. It's making people become aware that there is other ways to heal your body and but really it all comes down to the work that we do within because we have the power to heal. We have the power to manifest. We are all divine beings. Seems very magical, but it's just who we are.
Right.
And once you realize this and you take the time to do the inner work, which is what thinking into results is all about, then you can have this life that you dream of, what you want to do. It's not, it would just teach you how to do it, right? Michelle, anything you want to add to that, what I just explained about um, thinking into results in general?
Yeah, mm, I would just say be just being able to practice the tools that we're given every day and how
Mhm.
personally that's impacting me in all kinds of ways. I think, you know, it's shifted my world. It's shifting my world even
Yeah.
still today. And each experience is a little bit different than the next. But just it's important to me to try to maintain that um, calm and confident place and to be present in the way that I move and how I approach everything now. Um, let others be who they're going to be and
Mhm.
keep a clear vision and a goal, and you'll be attracting things and shifting things. So even in the instance where we were at the event that day, I leading up to this, like I sat and really tried to picture what the days were. You would ask me that, what is that going to look like to you? What is that going to look like to you? And I would just be like, this is what I envision. I see this steady flow of people all day long. Yeah, all day long. And that is exactly
Mhm.
how it came to be. And I felt a certain way all in when I was thinking about that calm feeling, that peaceful feeling, but in an uplifting way, even just being in the moment. And I literally was able to do that all day long. Um, One thing I will add too, like it was such a different experience for me because um, I have had specific physical symptoms for quite a long time, and my concern, even agreeing to do this with you was, this was months ago now, or a couple months ago, like, am I going to have enough energy? Am I going to be overwhelmed physically? Am I going to, whatever, have migraines? What am I going to do? Will I have the ability to walk away just to get what I need to self-care? Can I tell you, I never thought about that once that day. I literally had more energy than I have had. And it remained from early in the morning when I woke up at 5 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night when I went to bed. I was so energized and calm and uplifted and high vibe and all of the things the entire time. I never had one physical symptom. I never had anything related to any physical issue that I've ever had. And I only felt energized the entire day long. Like, it was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible. And there's a lot to that, right? There's a whole lot to that if you want to dive into that a little bit. But I mean, to me, the energy of where we were at, how we prepared, my where my focus was, about everything, just my approach and the purpose and all of it. Like, I think just released a lot of things that day, and like to replicate. So
Every day, right?
Every day, please. And
so let's break it down. Why do you think it was such a good day for you? Like, what can people take away from your day that was so great that they would be able to implement, in things that they do in their daily life? So, one, it was the visioning and intention of, right? That was the first thing. You're visioning it to just flow smoothly that day. And when you're visioning these things, and when you're visioning anything, it should not be like specific people you vision, right? It's just people flowing through, but not specific people. That's how visioning works,
right,
because you don't want to interfere with anyone else. It's just people,
right,
whoever shows up. So that was the one thing, which starts the creation of what that day is going to be like. And then what were some of the other things? Your attitude, you mentioned. So you got up that morning, you
yes,
got in a high vibration through positivity. What did you do that morning?
my daily practices. The meditative thing. I did my thinking and results lesson. I started my day like that. Did my and all of my gratefuls, just my normal way to approach a day. But there was just something extra about knowing where I was going and what I was going to be doing, and just thinking about that and what that would look like. And there was just a level of excitement about that, because we had prepared for a while, and I was like, oh, this, I get to go do this. And it's important to me. And so I think that was it, just the high vibe thing and being intentional with that. That was the start of my day. And then just being there amongst the people, even anytime any kind of anything creeped in, when we were setting up. I'll give you a couple instances where stuff would try to creep in and ruin, just kind of get you a little bit, because I think those beliefs and different things kind of still pop in. For sure they do on occasion. But I was just determined that this was not going to happen to me that day. When we were setting up, and I'm like, okay, things got to be, we have a plan. We want to implement that plan. We're going to do it with ease. We're going to do it with joy. It's all good, because time is going to be on our side. Obviously it had shown me that 2 times. And I was like, this is great. There was a moment where it was like, I got frustrated. Like, I felt a little bit of frustration come up because something wasn't perfect or just right. I'm like, I had to talk myself through it. I mean, like, I caught it, and I'm like, we're calm and confident. It's fine. Like, we're calm and confident. We're just going to go with things, and everything's going to work out. And I just And then it went away, like very quickly. It went away, and so we got everything set up. And there were just a couple different times in the midst of the day when things would pop up. What if I don't know the answer to something? Like you start questioning yourself, and I'm just like, we're calm and confident, and Jennifer's here. you know, she's going to have some answers. And even if you don't, and it really isn't about knowing everything. It really was just me wanting just to be present for everyone and just express, how important the things that we do are, and just really being present in the moment. I think you have always said this to me. Your energy matters, and just being present for people in a good and high vibe makes a difference. It makes an impact.
Yes, it makes such a difference.
And I can tell you from the feedback that we've had all day long throughout the day, the different people that came by, and many times I heard, we were drawn to this table. We're drawn to you guys, or drawn to this area, or whatever. Like we
Mhm.
just were drawn in, and I'm just like, oh, well, that's good to hear. That's great to hear. We're happy to have you, or whatever. And I just kept thinking, yeah, you are. Yes, you are. You are drawn in because you're meant to come over here, and we prepared for you. You know what I mean? That's what I was
Aw,
thinking.
we did, yeah.
We prepared for you, and um, it just made me feel really good for that all day.
Yeah, so we did different things throughout the day. It was your ideas. We kind of brainstormed what can we do that would be helpful for people. And your idea was, why don't you do classes for people, like just little small demos at the booth, um, to help people out. And that was fun for me. Sometimes there's so much that, along our journey, along our path, we pick up and that we know, and we we for I didn't recognize that people would want to learn some of these things as well. So we did a pendulum class and a crystal grid class. We thought that would be fun and light, but also with being able to work with energetic tools, the pendulums that helps you, confirm your own intuition. The crystal grid, the crystals are full of energy, but also preparing in using those tools, you have to be really centered and quiet and really grounded. So these are tools for us to use while we're here on Earth, but it is also very good for people to use them just because they're in their own presence. And having that connection is huge because sometimes we are doing so busy in life that we just don't sit and be. And whenever you can be at all times, everything just happens for you. Life happens for you, right?
Yeah.
And, so I enjoyed that. And then all the chakra scanning as
Yeah.
well.
You were busy. You were very busy that day.
Yeah,
I think I like
yeah.
the thought of you having the little demos and stuff like that. I think it's important to me just to have the application piece. The people have the knowledge to know that they can do these things for themselves. Like, so
Mhm.
just giving them a little taste of that and sort of encouraging them, and showing them, hey, yeah, it's possible. You don't need someone outside yourself to do these different things, and there are tools to help you, and you can take them home and put them into practice. And so, yeah, that was the whole thought process behind that. And you were a very busy lady the whole day.
I was, I enjoyed it though. And, yeah, with it because everything's inside, so it's really trusting yourself, right? Trusting your own intuition, trusting your own knowing. That's what these tools are all about. And, even throughout the day, I know there were questions, and you can see belief systems that
Yeah,
bubble up from all different areas of life, right? So belief systems, even on how to use the tools. And um, I think you saw some of those where people were asking some questions about wanting to have everything very specific and what if, and it's just helping people along. Um, so I think we even went through some limited beliefs about that, even though you come into spirituality and these things, and people are thinking in higher terms. There's still limited beliefs, no matter how many steps you go up
Yeah.
in your belief systems, you still bump against some limited beliefs that need to
Yeah.
be squashed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why these tools are so important, right? Because
Mhm.
I imagine that's gonna happen and continue to happen, and until you get to a great state. But yeah, there's so many layers. There's so many layers, and you're constantly changing, and something new maybe will come up or whatever. But just the being equipped with the right tools to move through things faster instead of letting things bring you down whenever
Mhm.
they pop up, getting caught up in that.
And the biggest tool ever is, what are we thinking? Why are we thinking that way? Are we thinking about what we want? Or are we thinking about what we don't want? Because the hardest thing we'll ever have to do in life is think,
Yeah.
right? Which is what we were doing. Now, one thing I did want to mention, one thing with the holistic fair, I did not do any healing, because I just feel like that's such a sacred practice, and it's so personal to people, that it is, to me, that feels better doing it in a healing room with people, or one-on-one sessions. So that day we decided, based off of your recommendation, Michelle, is just to do a quick chakra scan, so I could let people know, like, what chakra, what energy center that they could pay attention to, or what was calling for attention that day for them to pay attention to. And it's usually, some sort of emotional component to it. So that was good. The tools, trusting yourself, really goes back to, a lot of it goes back to this number 10, lesson number 10 that we're on. Trusting yourself, right? Who's leading you?
Right. Right. Yes. Leading yourself before you can be a leader to anyone else,
Mhm.
or an effective leader for anyone else. Let's just say that. Anybody can have the title, but are you actually an effective leader? Period. So,
Yeah, that was one of the things we talked about. I'm glad you said that, is, just because there's someone's a manager does not mean they're a leader.
right.
And there's many leaders in the world that don't have a manager title,
Right.
right? So it
Right.
doesn't matter where you're at, what service you're doing right now, you can be a leader in that area. And it's really first leading yourself, like you said. Who's leading you? Are you leading with your divine self? And that is, when the monkey mind comes in and you have and doubts go through, that's not leading with
Right.
your divine self, right? Um, so yeah, anything else you want to touch upon with the leadership? Because I think it's so good.
Yeah. No, it was just me reflecting, and there are quite a like 9, 10 qualities kind of that they go over. Um, but I think really what it boils down to is really it is a mindset. It is trusting and believing that you're a divine being and walking in that. I think all the other things come through that if you trust that. Um,
Yeah. So it's trusting yourself, trusting your vision, because you're listening to all the help that we have, right?
right.
So, um, really knowing that, and then how you work with other people and collaborate with them, where leaders, true leaders, people want to work with them, not because they have to, but because they want to. And true leaders will help others see the best in themselves, right?
Right.
So bringing that to the surface for
Yeah.
people.
Yes. That was a big one. That was a big one. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah. Get others to think highly of themselves. They're not trying to get others to think highly of them as a leader. They want to empower the others and have them think highly of themselves, and that's what a good leader does. That's what a great leader does. So yeah, I love that. I love that.
Well, because I think leaders recognize that everybody is a divine being, and just pulling that to the surface for them on, helping them recognize that, helping them recognize all the good qualities that they have
Right.
within themselves. That is what uplifts people. Um, that is what really raises their vibration too.
Right.
And that's part of our service work here, right?
Right. And just thinking about how, and when you're, I guess it was mastery in detail was one of the qualities, and just recognizing that you may need other people to help you. And so you're responsible for the entire goal or creation or the entire thing, but just acknowledging that there are other people that may have other things to offer that you maybe don't have, aren't equipped in, or lack in, or whatever else, and just acknowledging that, bringing them on board, and lifting them up and cooperating, and how that can make a difference as well. And one thing you said to me is like, spirit may be being open to others' perspectives, being open to others' input, because spirit may be bringing in information through someone else, and that may be a game
Yes,
changer.
that's a beautiful thing. It said that leaders have a vision because they are listening to their inner world, and they have a vision that they don't. And sometimes people can't see on the outer plane what this vision is, but they stick with it. Leaders do. And eventually everybody will see it manifest on the physical plane. But they have an unwavering faith because they know, and that's how you create. And they are open to listening to other people. And some ideas may be rejected because it's not going along with the vision. But then you have to be open because sometimes spirit brings the ideas through other people. Like what you just said. And I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that's huge, actually. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. There's so many good things, so many good things about the lesson. I know we'll hit on it as well, I guess probably next week too. Just depends on, I think, what comes along and what the experience is throughout the week. There are for sure some things that were brought up for me today that I don't want to delve into because of time wise today, but
Mhm.
that I will be digging into and putting into practice this week, and so we can maybe discuss those results next week. So it'll be good. It's good. It's great
Yeah,
material.
yeah. Very good, very good. Well, I hope, um, we are about 30 minutes in now, a little over that, so, we're gonna sign off for today. Is there anything else, Michelle, that you'd like to add?
Saying no, I just move in joy. Have a wonderful weekend. Be joyful in all things. Be grateful. Give gratitude. Um, because your life is full. Your life is what you make it. It's wonderful. So
Oh, I
that's
love that. I love that. Yeah. Move forward with ease. Joy is a choice, and whenever you can do things in a joyful state, joyful being, um, your vibration raises and you create your world. So I love that. I love that. So everyone, thank you for joining this morning, and enjoy the partial solar eclipse. And I'm wishing everyone to bring in very beautiful things for their life as they begin to restructure and to continue to renew all the great things that are coming in. So until next time, happy manifesting, everyone.